Most people think discipline is about being tough, about pushing themselves harder than anyone else. But the truth is that is not real discipline. That is more like suffering for the sake of suffering, and it does not lead to your goals. And from my own experience, I learned this the hard way. When I moved from Slovakia to Ireland, I knew only one person. My English wasn't good, and I faced a new country, new people, and completely new environment. That did not stop me because I had a big dream. I wanted to create an extraordinary life for myself, and I thought the only way to do it was to work harder than anyone else. So I pushed myself. I ignored my body, I ignored my limits, and I thought discipline meant going all in, and every day, no matter what, I was pushing harder, and at one point it hit me very hard. I hit the rock bottom and my body cracked and I became sick. Unfortunately, I developed a skin problem that put my life on hold. Suddenly, the discipline I was chasing felt like a punishment, and reality hit me. I deeply knew that this was not working for me, and I realized something important. Discipline is not about suffering, and it is not about willpower, and most importantly, it is not about pushing even harder. But the real discipline is a system, a way of designing your life so that the actions that lead to your goals feel easier than the ones that keeps you stuck. I created this video to help you make better decisions in your life. The kind of decisions that actually move you forward without burning you out. But in order to do that, there are 6 inevitable keys you need to understand. These are 6 foundations that every person must master if they want to truly succeed. And these are not about willpower or pushing yourself harder, but they go far beyond forcing discipline. If you stay with me, you will discover the deeper principles that make success not just possible, but sustainable. These 6 keys shape how you grow, how you create, and how you sustain momentum. Without them, you will burn out. But if you apply them, the discipline becomes natural and you don't waste your energy to fight yourself. But instead, you design a life that moves you forward. These 6 keys are about systems, structure, alternatives, boundaries. So you align yourself with who you are becoming. And once you understand them, you will stop chasing discipline and start embodying it. So let's dive in, but first let me share a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Number 1. So first, let's talk about what real discipline is. Discipline isn't something you are born with. It is not coded into your DNA. But so many of us fall into that trap of saying, I am just not a disciplined person. But the truth is, discipline is not a fixed personality trait. It is a design. It is something you create, and it is shaped by the way you structure your days, the choices you repeat, or the rituals you keep returning to. You don't have to wait for discipline to magically appear inside you. It is created by choices and not inherited. Because you weren't born with it, that doesn't mean you cannot build it. And here is why we need to shift our understanding why real discipline is not about grinding harder or suffering more, but it is about understanding how the human mind and body actually work. Because when you try to push through with a force, you trigger resistance, stress, and burnout. And when your brain perceives constant pressure, it will see it as a threat, which floods your system with cortisol and makes it harder to stay consistent. And what most people call lack of discipline is really just a nervous system in survival mode, fighting against unsuitable demands. True discipline works with your psychology and not against it. It is about creating safety, structure, and small, repeatable wins that rewire your brain to see progress as natural and rewarding. Also, science shows us that our brain isn't fixed. Every time you repeat something, a way of thinking, a small choice or habit, you're literally rewriting your brain. Neurons that fire together wire together, and that means your repetitive actions create new pathways and new possibilities. Number 2, systems versus willpower. Here's the truth. Motivation runs out and willpower fades, but the system will stay. See it like this. Discipline isn't a battery, but instead see it as a power grid. So ask yourself, what step can I take now that makes tomorrow's success inevitable? For me personally, discipline really started to shift when I began creating gentle routines. I stopped swinging between extremes and instead looked for simple, sustainable alternatives. Instead of forcing myself to study English for 10 hours straight, I allowed myself to learn in small, steady steps that I could actually repeat. I focused on making choices that were just a little bit better and, most importantly, realistic for me to keep up with. Also, the great understanding lies in knowing that real structure doesn't trap you, but instead it frees you. So when you have supportive system in place, they hold you steady even on the days when motivation feels far away. Number 3, replace punishment with gentle alternatives. Here's the truth. You don't have to cut out every bad habit overnight. In fact, most of the time, that only sets you up to feel like you have failed. What actually works is giving yourself softer, kinder changes. When I was burnt out from overworking, I did not try to change everything at once. But instead, I choose gentle replacement. I traded late nights of pushing through for slow evening walks that cleared my head and eating food that were not healthy for me for a calming cup of tea. I stopped punishing myself and started adding in small, nourishing actions. And little by little, those tiny changes became habits. The habits grew into consistency, and consistency, that is what creates real progress. Number 4, lower the bar and stack easy wins. Discipline does not feel heavy when it's done right. If your schedule feels punishing, that is not discipline, but it is your ego who is controlling your life. In my early days, I set impossible standards for myself. I wanted to be fluent in English instantly. I wanted to be successful overnight. And of course, I burned out. And what I learned was that I had to lower the bar and stack easy wins. So I was taking steps so small so I could not fail, and I let momentum carry me forward. Because here's the real thing. When you take one step at a time, 1, you will feel very good about yourself, and 2, after taking action, you create consistency, and consistency will build results. So ask yourself, what tiny win can I claim today that will make tomorrow easier? Number 5, applying systems in real time. This is not theory, but this is practical. Discipline applies to everything: your work, your health, your relationships, your growth, and your wealth. I have learned how to plan my weeks intentionally. Again, Rome was not built in a day, and neither are lasting habits. And this is why discipline is not about pushing harder. It is about being systematic. And it is about working with your brain in a smart way, step by step, so progress feels naturally instead of forced. So it is crucial to decide what matters in your life and what actions you will take, because it will carry you forward into your future. So take a moment and ask yourself, what can I bring into my life right now that would give me more freedom? Number 6, Why this matters spiritually. At the deepest level, discipline is not about controlling, but it is about becoming. This is a spiritual practice because when you design your life with structure and you take small aligned steps, you are fully initiating and building deep trust with yourself. You are basically showing to yourself you have got your own back and you step into integrity with yourself even when motivation is gone. And that is the real transformation. So the point of this video is to teach you how to stop living in a constant reaction, fight and flight response, and you start living in creation with a divine source. And that is the best reward you are able to give yourself. So today, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Where am I relying too much on willpower? Number 2, where can I create systems that makes the right choice inevitable? And 3, what small action can I take today to support my goals for tomorrow? Discipline is not about suffering, it's about design, structure, and systems, and taking small, deliberate steps towards the person you want to be. If you found this video helpful and want more guidance on building your discipline and creating habits that actually work for you, make sure to hit subscribe button because there is no better time to step into your own true potential. And now let's close this video with one more powerful quote from Marcus Aurelius. Dig deep within yourself, for there is fountain of goodness ever ready to flow if you will keep digging.